welcome back to Danganronpa Antebellum Lockdown. Uh, Everybody's secrets got revealed. Yeah. Crazy. Crazy shit. Allura handcuff me next! What on earth are you doing here, Saintil? What? A girl's not allowed to read now? Wow. That's not what I'm saying. Never mind. You, feeling better from earlier? Yes, it was a bit of a shock, admittedly, but I think I perhaps crossed a few lines myself. I think the hunger is starting to get to me. I'm sure it's gone to him, too, so I'll try not to hold it against him. It's not an ideal situation for anyone here. I should really stop throwing stones in glass houses. I hope Ezekiel has calmed down himself. I should not have provoked him as I did. He clearly isn't well. I think we all should. A lot of us are a lot more similar than we realize, if you ask me. It's horrible to admit it, but perhaps that's why he gets under my skin so much. He does remind me terribly of some of the worst parts of me. But I think he's wrong. It's not like we can't change, can we? I think he's worried he doesn't have the patience for it. Regardless, it's in the past now. I believe we both have bigger things to worry about. If you say so. Hey, what's that you were reading? Also, no Shinkyu. Crazy. Is that? Dude, why are you, of all people, reading an anti-ultimate book? I suppose I just wanted to see another perspective. There are some pretty good arguments in them, but, you know, not much point. This whole thing is just going to make people see those individuals, those involved in the movement, as less human than they already did. Why did you do it? Huh? Take your talent. I mean, like, it sounds selfish, but it was just easiest. I was tired at that point. I wanted something good. Maybe if I was stronger, perfect, a better human, I would have stayed true to what I believed and would have just rejected it and stood strong. But life isn't really like that in the end. No, I think you were perfectly human. Listen, I cannot begin to know what you've been through, but how you've suffered. My life has been entirely different, but if your truths are an indication of anything, all I can say for certain is I don't think you deserved a life like that. I believe, all things considered, you did the best you could. Seeing everything you went through, everything I've struggled with seems pretty silly in comparison. Nah. If you struggled with it, if it impacted you, I think it's still pretty damn important. It's weird, really, because those things in my truths, I never really thought about them too hard. For me, that was just life, not something I struggled too much with in the moment. Like, I know they should have impacted me a lot, but it's like, it was just how it was. No one else seemed to care that much, so I thought I shouldn't either. No one was concerned. That's impossible. When I got pregnant, it was just like, I don't know, mildly inconvenient for the guy I was with. Okay, I know we're talking about the pregnancy part, but her real name not being Lyra, Saintil, I know there's a fan theory that Lyra was Allura's sister, or is Allura's sister, which would be crazy. I kind of want it to be true. I told him, and it wasn't really, like, a choice or anything. He just presumed I'd get an abortion. It's like, yeah, I was going to, don't get me wrong. But to him, it was like getting a tooth removed or getting a haircut. He just told me to go to the clinic. I did, and when I got home afterwards, we just didn't talk about it. I felt crazy at the time because he just seemed to completely forget about it. Life just continued on for him. But even if I was never intending on having that kid, I still felt emotional and shit over it all. To me, it was a big deal. I sort of hoped it would be a wake-up call, that he'd be more careful, or I don't know, be nicer to me or some shit. I wanted him to tell me I was being careless or irresponsible or just, I don't know, I feel like I was right in any way to feel emotional about it. Like I wasn't just being stupid or overreacting. But none of that happened. Christ. I know, right? I guess that's why, when he was overdosing, part of it was like, yeah, shit, I don't want to get arrested. But also, I don't know. I guess it felt a little vindicating to feel as apathetic as I did. Oh my god, that's crazy! That makes me sound insane, doesn't it? Maybe I'm insane too, but it sounds shockingly reasonable to me. Come on, you don't gotta lie to me. Well, I can at least see where you're coming from, if nothing else. I guess, in the moment, none of my struggles really felt like them. It was just how I was living. It's only really now I can look back at them and think, wow, that was kinda messed up. Huh. Kinda? Okay, maybe a little more than kinda. It's just sort of hard to grapple with, because it's how I lived for so long. For what it's worth, Lyra, I am sorry. I should not have treated you in the way I did, believing I knew what was best for you. That you were just blind to it all. Even if I did, I realize that now, that forcing you to change wouldn't have done you much good at all. That strength has to come from within. I forgive you. It's alright. You're not the first and you won't be the last, I'm sure. But I want to do better. Living in such ignorance will only keep me pushing away others. Nothing will change if I don't. If I stay like this, I'll just become the sort of person who pushes down others just to feel better about themselves. I'll be just like my professor. I couldn't bear to live with myself if I was like that. And I want you to have better than that. If nothing else, you deserve it after everything you've been through. But I hope you find that strength yourself. I know you will. You're the type who doesn't stop until something goes your way, for better or worse. I hope you find it too, whatever it is for you. Alright, bye guys. After a while of hunkering down in my room, I started to get restless. I knew the group meeting tonight would be stressful. There was something else I didn't really want to think too hard about currently. I should find something to do to distract myself. Maybe I should try talking to someone or seeing if anyone has anything I could help with. Yippee! Oh! Fuck. 53! I'm gonna talk to my warden friend. What the hell do you... I never even really liked her, you know? Who? Akari. Well, honestly, I kinda hated her. Always so driven by jealousy more than anything. Like, try to act like she was the saint to make their message better, but she had a whole bunch of her own issues. Were you friends with her? One of those types who talked a whole bunch of hot shit, but if she got offered a title, I think she'd take it. I mean, who wouldn't? Anyone with principles, that's who. Still, for how much I didn't like her when she was alive, I did miss her when she was gone. I would like to go to that concert with her. She saved up for months for the tickets. I never heard the end of how much she hated that coffee shop job or whatever. She probably hated me too. She told me not to pester her at work, but I always went to where she worked to get a hot chocolate. You don't like coffee? It's a bit too bitter for me, okay? I don't know. I didn't know she was good at making drinks. I know, she wasn't. She was shit. I was putting way too much powder. That's why I liked them. They were extra sweet. She really wasn't good at making anything, but she kept trying regardless. She never tried anything long enough to get good at it. She'd always lose interest if she wasn't immediately good at it. Yeah, she was pretty good at talking like she knew what she was saying. So I wish I was kinder to her when she was alive. Because I don't think anyone who really knows what she really was like. There's only really one thing I know for sure. What's that? She was human. And I think acknowledging that she wasn't perfect, that she was selfish, that she couldn't make a flat white to save her life, that she wanted to skip school, to go see a band she liked, that she was just a teenager. I think that makes a lot more of a statement than if she was some big, perfect martyr. I just wish her life wasn't a statement. I wish it was just hers. Well, maybe we both should have tried harder to see it while we still had her. I don't think she... Oh, Laura, how's your patrol going? Fine. Everyone seems to be having some alone time, and Ezekiel stopped battering on his door, so I'm taking a second to rest. I just hope they won't take advantage of this brief period to make any foolish decisions. I'm sure everyone will be fine if you leave them to their own devices for an hour or two. Best to be safe than sorry. I think you'll be the one who will end up sorry if you keep pushing yourself like this. All you're doing is further isolating yourself. No wonder you can't get rid of that earpiece. It's the only thing you have right now that you feel you can talk to. Even if I wished to talk to anyone else, I hardly think the feeling would be mutual. Well, if you'd like, I wouldn't mind talking to you. Do not jeopardize your own safety like that, Kutsuki. You're already isolated enough as is. Well, even if the others hate me, I won't be entirely lonely. If that happens, we can just be isolated together. You really do have your moments, Kutsuki. For what it's worth, even if you did break my trust a little, I still appreciate you greatly. Thank you for being so patient with me. It's the least I can do, really. It's more than I deserve after everything. But if you were genuine about wanting to spend some time together, if you'd like, please do excuse me if this is presumptuous, but perhaps we could hold a small funeral service together for both our sisters. Ah! I assumed you haven't exactly given sufficient enough time to make peace with it. Quite frankly, when I heard my sister died, I didn't really feel like I had the time to react or really process it. At that time, there was work to be done. I just had to continue with my life. Do, 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 do. But it might be good to finally sit down and at least mourn her. Do, 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 do. My condolences. I didn't know your sister had also passed. My condolences to you as well, Kutsuki. Especially with how fresh it is. I thought you'd perhaps appreciate a judgment-free space to discuss your feelings about it. I really, truly am not in any position to judge you myself, after all. That sounds a little heavy. Well, the offer is open. If you're interested, come meet me in the Faith Room later. I'll have a think about it. Thank you, Allura. Stay safe, Shinku. So, how do I do this? Sorry, I didn't exactly pay attention entirely. I was just reading. First, you found nothing about your spazzing. I know there's only exactly perspective. Okay, I'll consider it. Okay. But I shouldn't think like that. I wanted to believe the best of Allura despite everything. Alright, to the Faith Room. No, Asuga. Yeah, it's down here. I was a little apprehensive about accepting Allura's offer and holding the funeral service with her, partly because I was a bit worried about what the others would think if I spent too much time with her, and partly because, even now, I really wanted to do everything I possibly could to avoid thinking about what had happened with Akari, to Akari. It felt strange I'd never see her again. Maybe that's why I tried to hide away from every reminder of it. I just wanted things to be normal. I wanted the simplicity of my life before everything happened. But life doesn't always work like that, and I knew I'd just have to face it eventually. So I sat quietly in the faith room, waiting for our Lord to arrive. Closed my eyes and melted into the soft serenity of the cool room, drifting to my own thoughts, only stepping back into focus when I heard a voice behind me. You came? Okay. I thought I was already here before her, but okay. She seemed oddly surprised. Of course. I thought it could be good for both of us. I see. Elora quietly approached me and sat down next to me. The two of us sat in the silence, introspecting side by side as we looked at the altar in front of us. I was not religious by any means, but perhaps I felt I needed to repent somehow. But I had no idea what she was feeling as she stared alongside me. Eventually, our quiet contemplation was broken by her opening her mouth to speak.
You know, it's a little funny. I've never been good with loss, even when I knew it was coming, but with Esther, with my sister, it didn't even really feel like I lost anything. I know it sounds terrible, but it always felt like an inevitability. When my parents informed me she was gone, I didn't even really question what they meant. They didn't make a big fuss about it, so I thought if I did, then I'd be being ridiculous. I thought moving on and not letting those things bother you was just part of being an adult. Perhaps that's why I was so ashamed that in every other instance where I did lose someone that I couldn't deal with it. Sensible adults were meant to deal with it well. So I did, at least in public. I was so ashamed of how I felt, I decided to cope in any way I could, really. Anything to keep me moving.
Guess it's easier just to pretend nothing has changed at all. It's very easy to want to stay in the past. I think I never realized just how bad things had gotten between me and Akari because I was so focused on the past. I used to practically be her hero. I just assumed no matter what phase she was going through, she could never hate me. And my parents just assumed when she was having a meltdown or something, it was just her being difficult. It was always something with Akari. So after a while, I just started tuning it out a bit. It became an everyday thing. I guess I just kind of thought my parents were right about her, and somewhere along the line I became complicit in it.
That's understandable. You're meant to listen to your parents after all. They're meant to guide you through life. Was she a bit of a troublemaker?
That's an understatement. She never really did all that well in school. It never really clicked with her. She never found anything that she thought was worth devoting all her time to. If she wasn't good at something instantly, she gave up on it pretty instantly. And because of that, she got involved with some pretty bad kids her age, and that spiraled into her getting involved with the anti-ultimate movement. And it's kind of hard to really parrot anything that movement was saying when you're actively benefiting from it. I think she started to resent herself and all of us, and that caused a lot of fights.
Esther was a bit like that, always causing issues. Presumably for attention. I wouldn't know. I didn't give her much. But even so, she had all the resources to become just like me. If she just had the drive, she'd have been able to reach a similar level of achievement to me. She could have had my life if she so wished. But she didn't want it. That always confused me. Assuredly, my life was meant to be close to perfect. Many people would do anything to be in my position. And yet she rejected that. In her eyes, even dying was more freeing and ideal than what would conventionally be considered good. Even if I can hardly recall what she was like. Even when my only clear memory of her is of a scruffy, white-haired child, covered in dirt, digging out silkworms from their enclosures and trying to bring them to show me. While thoughts of what she was like before it all happened never really crossed my mind. I can never stop thinking about that decision she made. That, despite how much freedom she was given, she somehow believed running was more liberating. That dying was more freeing. I wonder a lot if she finally found happiness through that, or if she regretted it. Either way, I admit I occasionally find myself slightly jealous of her.
How so?
Jealous of the fact she was able to make such a definitive decision for herself. That despite everything, she made that decision entirely of her own volition, and had the drive to go through with it. No matter how it turned out, I will always admire and be slightly envious of that. My whole life, I've simply done what I was told because it was best. I thought if I saw how things ended for her, I'd know for certain that staying on the straight and narrow was indeed for the best. That I'd have my beliefs confirmed, but all I've really been able to glean from it, thinking back through my decisions from the last few weeks, is that I don't think there really is a solid universal best. Different things work for different people. What might be for the best for one person is detrimental to another. I remember when she'd bring those silkworms to me. I was a little put off. I thought she ought not to interfere with what they were meant for in the lab. But she'd argue that domesticated silkworms, when they turn into moths, can never really fly. That they be stuck forever. So she'd let them free to give them a chance to fly.
But if they'd lived their whole life in captivity until that point, it's unlikely they'd survive out in the wild long enough to turn into moths. She knew that.
But to her, that small chance that they would be able to fly, at the risk of everything else, at the risk of certain death, was worth it. It was better than a safe existence of being stuck.
You two sound quite different.
Don't be mistaken. I'm happy with how my life ended up. I try not to dwell on what her life was like too much. At the end of the day, the only thing I really do not have a satisfying answer to is if she or I ended up happier.
It seems like a pretty simple question to me. I mean, you got everything you ever could have wanted.
Right. So it's curious I cannot seem to land on an answer to it, isn't it?
I wondered a lot about that too. To me, my life was ideal. But to Akari, life was unbearable. I couldn't understand why she was so miserable, why she didn't just try harder to be good, to focus on school. But I suppose it never crossed my mind if she was happier like that. I just assumed she was running away from happiness because it was too much effort. Either way, I'm sorry for your loss.
I'm sorry for yours, Kutsuki.
I don't think I'm the one who deserves a sorry in this situation. I just wish I had said it before it was too late.
Laura paused, doing something very strange and moving her hand to mine, quietly interlacing her fingers between mine and squeezing it.
I think we all have things we wish we'd have said while we still had the chance. Though, you really should stop being so kind to me, Kutsuki. Everyone who attaches to me seems to die.
Funny that. Same here. Maybe we're both bad luck charms.
I suppose you're spending so much time with me in hopes of doubling your chances. Well, if that's the case, I won't allow it. I won't let anyone have to mourn you.
That's not it.
Then what is it?
I suppose I just didn't want you to feel alone.
Is there really any way to stop such a feeling?
There's only one way to find out, isn't there?
The two of us sat in silence for a little longer, occasionally exchanging a few words or thoughts, but admittedly, I wasn't as open as I felt I should be. Maybe I was still trying to run from what I'd done. But on the other hand, as much as I wanted to be there for Alora, I couldn't let myself say too much. After all, it was not just a conversation between the two of us. As long as she had that earpiece in there, it would be others who would be listening. I just hoped she'd take it out soon and instead of focus on the people she did have left, instead of focusing on what she had lost. But maybe that was being too optimistic. She was a domesticated silk moth, after all, raised and pruned in a glass enclosure all of her life. It would take a miracle for her to be able to fly. Maybe that's just what we told ourselves to give us an excuse not to try. Maybe we were just too scared of falling a few times in our attempts. Maybe we were the ones who were running. Zeke's cell? Hey, what are you doing here? Alora unlocked your cell. She thought it was best if I let you know. Let me undo your handcuffs. Hold on. How are you doing? Oh, wait, Lyra? Oh my god, Lyra! Almost immediately after I uncuffed him, he wrapped his arms around me and hugged me. His whole body was shaking. Hey, it's alright. You're getting out there. I hate her. I hate her so much. Locking me in here like that stupid hell school. Well, hey, you're getting out now, and that's what counts. Just gotta make sure you don't get locked up again, alright? I also need someone to be their nurse, you know. Not much of a doctor without you. I think you two would be fine without me. Don't say shit like that. It's true. My whole life's been fucking pointless. All I've done is make this shithole a worse place, and no one sees any kind of issue with it. If there is a God, he's the best fucking comedian out there. Because the biggest joke of it all is, despite all reason, I'm somehow not dead yet. All of this is only gonna end when people like me are dead. Just throwing away your life isn't going to fix anything. That's stupid. You know that. I'm just a coward, Lie. I don't want to live in a world like this, especially when I can't do shit to fix it. I can only make it worse. You only get rest in this shithole if you push others down, and even then, it don't feel good. It just feels a bit better, I guess. Yeah, this world kinda sucks, huh? But you know, if it didn't suck, we wouldn't have anything to make fun of and laugh about and share with others at the end of the day. Sure, the world can be shitty, but no matter how bad it gets, you can always send it on a high note. As long as you've got people or things in your life you love, things never really seem all that bad. I don't think I've ever really had anyone like that. At least, no one who stuck around. What? Are me and Asu roaches or something? Huh? No, what? Exactly, you've got us. You can be all nihilistic. So you can be all nihilistic and shit and think there's no way you can ever grow or change or whatever. Or you can pack your shit up, at least try to do better, and go watch a drive-in movie with me and Asu. Maybe get some shitty pancakes with us as we walk home from the club, drunk as shit. Hell, we can even just fuck around while sober, playground hopping at the dead of night or some shit. That sounds stupid. Boo! Sounds fun to me. You're just a buzzkill. Guess I'd like it. Like that sort of laugh. I'm scared of having all that and losing it. That would make things worse than it was before. Then become someone who won't lose it. Someone people won't leave. Someone better. I know you can. I've seen the best and the worst of you. Behind all your bullshit, I think there's a lot of good. There's someone who deserves to make the best of a shitty world like this. And I'm not the only one who's seen that. And she's not as good as getting the good parts of you to come out as he was. He really brought out the best in you. And I think if I let him, he would have brought out the best in me too. But at the end of the day, even someone as screwed up as me can take those steps myself. Try and be a bit better, bit by bit. Even if I'm just taking steps into a wasteland, because at least I've got people with me. And you don't want to lose out to the stupid blue thing you hate in that department, do you? So come on, let's get out of here. It's dinner time. I'm not hungry. Bitch, am I gonna have to choo-choo train the food into your mouth? No! I'm not a 5-year-old, Jesus! You got the diet of one and the narrow-minded, edgy worldview of a 12-year-old. Can you blame me for getting confused? Oh, shut up! You coming with? Yeah. Yeah, I think I will. Good. Because we're gonna need someone to pay for those drunk pancakes, and it's not gonna be me. You're such a cheapskate, Jesus. No, shut up. You know you love me. Something like that, yeah. Guess I do. Guess that's the scariest part of it all, huh? Let's stop improving. Let's stop doing that. Okay? Guys? The evening came upon us before we know it, bringing about a tension-filled dinner with a fairly mediocre bread. I'm sure Asuga was a good cook. I just wasn't sure our flour was exactly up to scratch. Ezekiel was released and joined us, a lot more apprehensive than before. Him and Miss Mene exchanged quiet apologies, but there was still clear tension between them. But long after Allura had watched us all settle into our cells, making sure we were all in the correct ones for the night, we all snuck out, one by one. And I, too, even as I slightly dreaded it, made my way to Amelia's office for another one of our meetings. Goodness, I thought you were all a little paranoid before, but she's steadily getting a bit more extreme, isn't she? Exactly! We can't keep letting her get away with this. If we let these little things slip, it's only a matter of time before she moves on to bigger stuff. I mean, okay, to be fair, he was going to kill her. I don't care what she says the threat was I don't care if she says the threat was empty. The fact she even talked about holding last dose back until we complied proves she's been thinking about it. That's fucked up enough for me. Not to mention she detained me. Well, that was a little deserved, wasn't it? I guess, but still. I don't think it was a great he did it, real uncalled for, but I think both of you would have been more reasonable if you weren't half-starved. I can agree, though. I apologize for my part in it. Same, I really fucking hate what she's doing right now. This sort of discussion again. We can't just keep going in circles about this again. Once again, I really think she's just trying to help here. I think we really need to trust the process. If we take some of the pressure off of her back, I'm sure she'll get less strict. At the end of the day, she just wants to keep us all alive. That's exactly the sort of attitude that made you perfect to be an ultimate in the first place. What do you mean? Not asking too many questions, not thinking too hard about things, not letting the people above you do their thing and acting to their every whim as long as it keeps you in the position you're in now. But I mean, I guess at least you didn't conform with the shocks the way back then. So that's something. I hardly see how that's relevant to this. The little ways you all treat those things end up blowing up on a larger scale until it hurts people. You can't deny that. If you let this slip now, you will just keep getting people hurt on a larger scale. Well, yeah, what do you expect when you give so much power to people who don't even have their frontal lobes fully developed yet? Of course they're going to fuck things up. Why are you defending them here? Whatever Hope's Peak is slipping you can't be good. That good. Even if I don't exactly like your fence-hopping ass, I thought at least being in a situation like this would wake you up and pull you off of Hope's Peak's deck. I'm not defending them, trust me, but it's more complicated. You can acknowledge Ultimates are shitty people and also see we were all taken advantage of by the system in the first place. The situation with Hope's Peak doesn't matter. Right now what matters is what's going on here. What's going on in the prison. If Allura is right about anything, it's that we need to put our grudges and conflicts aside and work together here. All of us. Otherwise, she'll take advantage of that divide to keep us compliant. I really think you're looking too much into everything you're doing. If anything, this is going to divide us. Constantly othering her is going to cause conflict in itself. But it's not just that. Do you see how much charged shit we have? We've got a fuck ton of food. And sure, I get the rationing to a point, but we've got a sustainable food source secured. Rationing to the extent we are at this point feels fucking extreme. It's like she's trying to keep us hungry. She's trying to keep our energy down. She's trying to make us not think. You really think she'd do something like that? I honestly don't think she even realizes she's doing it, but I think some intent is there. If you take a look at the meal plans, despite the fact she's making sure we're all getting our nutrients or whatever, they're always weirdly low in protein. I mean, hell, you can't even fault her that much. If you keep people tired, then they're going to be less likely to be at each other's throats. It's probably her way of subduing us. Hunger is one of the easiest things to weaponize, yeah? Oh no, this song. the song always means bad things happen. If we let her get away with that, then soon the rations will get worse and worse. She'll try to get away with more and more. And that's a risk I'm not willing to take at this stage. I care about all of you too much. I can't let anyone else down. It's easy enough for her to subtly divide us at this stage through assigning us work or preventing conversations about the truths, but how long until she gets to the stage of consistently physically detaining us, physically separating us? She's already at the stage of threatening it, even after saying she wouldn't. How long until those threats stop being empty? We need to act in soon. We can do it together. If we show her how united we can be, how she has no power against us, how easily we can undermine her, then we can basically circumvent the whole motive. Are we sure? I feel like aggravating her is just asking for her to make her true on her threats. I certainly don't want that. I'm sure she doesn't either. If she acts on those threats just a bit of resistance, then it proves why we need to start challenging her authority. Or make it to the point where we're not so hungry or constantly getting into fights like earlier. We can manage this better ourselves, I know it! Hold on. If we're compliant until we've already let way too much slip through the cracks and then we'll get too comfortable. We'll get too used to it. We'll be so hungry and tired we won't even have the energy to resist. But Asu, you're just doing the exact same thing she's doing. You're forcing us to pick a side here and listen to what you want to do. Follow your authority. If anyone says anything against you or positive about Allura, you're the first to get on our cases, and I know you're not that unreasonable usually. Come on! He's kinda right. You've been acting a little off lately, Asu. I said it earlier, but it's a bit concerning. Acting a bit off? I'm just trying to make sure no one gets hurt here. I can help us, please. You've got to believe me. I can keep us all alive and safe. We can run the prison between us. We can circumvent Allura's authority. I'm sure of it. All the other motives had stupid loopholes. We can find one here. I'm not trying to be controlling or anything. I just know what's best here. Girl! No! I don't want to see anyone else get hurt. I'm trying to help here. Come on! I'm sure Allura thinks she's helping too. You both want the same thing, but going against her when she's just trying to help is going to put all of us in more danger. Stop comparing me to her! We're nothing like each other! I just feel like you're demonizing her to your own detriment, Asuga. You keep saying this, you keep defending her, but out of everyone here, I think you've got more than enough right to not trust her. I've got. Not you. I've got. Do you have any idea how it feels to have one other person in the world you could even start to connect with over Taka's death and have it be the very person who killed him? Someone who killed him for such a stupid reason. Someone who's being rewarded for the decision she made. But if you can sympathize with Takiko and understand why she did what she did, I'm sure you can give her a little grace. Don't act like you ever sympathized with Takiko till it was too late. You hated her because of what she did to Molly, right? Can't you see how it's the same with me and Allura? Alright, fine. You win there. I understand your point. But even if you can't sympathize with Allura or try to see things from her perspective here, at least try to take a moment to reflect on yourself, Asuga. Please. I'm not trying to do anything bad here. I'm sure you weren't trying with your circus either, but you're repeating the exact same behaviors. So what if I am? They worked before. They made somewhere safe. Somewhere perfect. I can do the same here too. But it's... Asu, please, it's more complicated than that and you know it. Even if your intentions were good, it's undeniable your actions were a little questionable. Well, that's kind of putting it lightly. Better than some of the other shit the rest of you did. Exactly, I mean, yeah, it's bad, I accept that. But I'm not even meant to be here. You silly little thing. Don't get on your high horse about your verdict. Okay, now I think you're the last person who gets to say that. Well, second to me, maybe. Zeke character development, let's fucking go! It's a slippery slope and a fool's errand to put so much value in the validation of strangers. Doing so will only lead you to repeating behaviors you'll regret later. Don't be stubborn about this. I understand your concerns about Laura. Trust me, I'm not a fan of what's going on here. But I'd be less of a fan if you tried to suddenly seize power and got more hurt in the process. Or opened up your wound again. You don't want to do something stupid like that, come on. It's not stupid if it'll keep us safe. But there's no guarantee of that. You're just putting yourself and the rest of us in danger here to protect your own ego. Because you think you know best here. Just like... Asuga seemed to take a pause, hesitating at Amelia's words, despite her cutting herself off. Listen, Asu. I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. If I have a favorite here, it's probably you. But you know, blindly scrambling for power just to feel some sense of control after you've basically lost everything you had helps in the moment. Sure. But it feels shitty in the long run. Before you know it, you'll have pushed away everyone you did have. You wanna really prove you don't deserve to be here? Don't repeat the shit that got you here in the first place. Yeah, come on. I know you can do better than me. Listen, Asu. I understand you don't want to abandon us or let us down this time to make up for the past, but you're pushing away and ignoring anyone who's trying to help this situation. You want us all to work together, but putting yourself above us like this, it's just going to split us apart. The way you're going about this, you're just doing the things that caused you to hurt people in the first place again. I might have abandoned my brother. I might have let down Kiko, but at least I'm trying my best to make up for it. To do what's best for anyone, to not leave anyone behind. I'm trying to rectify my old mistakes, even if you say I'm repeating them. Can you say you're doing the same? Asuka pushed past us and left the meeting early, clearly upset. Asu. Jeez. Sorry. Was I a little too harsh? They needed to hear it before they did something foolish. I suppose so. After Asuka left, an awkward silence filled the room, only interrupted by someone who'd stayed relatively quiet throughout most of the argument. Okay, got awful timing. I don't know when else to bring this up, but I brought some cookies. I know it isn't much, but don't complain. It's more than you should have. Plus, I kinda, maybe, sorta, completely used up almost all of my food supplies on that feast, so take what you can get. Well, thanks. I don't care how small it is, I'll take any scraps at this point. What are you, a dog? Yes! I'd bark, but knowing your truth, I think you'd enjoy that. Now be quiet and be grateful. Thank you, Amelia. Yeah, don't mention it. It felt a little inappropriate considering the current mood, but we all indulged in the cookies. Admittedly, our hunger got the best of us. I just hope Asu will be okay. Let's just hope Asu will be okay. Hope they don't do anything stupid. Yeah, me too. I'll check on her later, but you know how Alicia is about us going into one another's cells at night. You can do it if you're sneaking. Who the hell have you been sleeping with? Your phrasing is atrocious. I'll check on them tomorrow, first thing. As long as the Lord... As long as Laura doesn't drag me to the showers after giving me my morning dose. Speaking of which, it's getting pretty late. We should probably call it for the night. Especially if Asu isn't here for the rest of the meeting. Just feels weird to leave it on a note like that, you know? Hopefully, this will give them some time to dwell on things. Yeah, hopefully. I was a little worried Asuga... I was a little worried about Asuga taking action after all this, but I tried to push that feeling to the back of my head. Well, I guess you can try to parse things out tomorrow, especially at the meeting. If we wait until tomorrow, the whole day is gonna feel tense as hell. I just think it's something that we all need to sleep on. I doubt the hunger and fuck. Yeah, sounds like a plan to me. I'm gonna hit the concrete hay with my bare presence. Whoa! See y'all tomorrow. Take care. Everyone slowly filtered out, the tension and uneasiness still not fully dissipating between us. But before I could leave, I heard a voice behind me. Oi! Can I help you? Amelia looked away, letting out a small scowl under her breath. I can't believe I'm doing this, let alone asking you, of all people. Don't, make a big deal out of this or anything, but... Amelia shoved the remaining cookie over to me. Excuse me? Are you dense? Just do it. Do what? I'm a little lost here. If you haven't noticed, I'm a fucking dumbass. God, is your brain completely filled with rocks? It's obvious. Go find them. Give it to them. I think you do need to have a chat, one-on-one. Just make things right this time, before it's too late. Both of you need to make better choices this time. You know that better than anyone. So go put your money where your mouth is. I took the remaining cookie. I was apprehensive, but I knew that this time Amelia was right. Me and Asuga did need to hash out some things. So I took it and looked at Amelia, a small smile on my face. Isn't your job meant to be making us all fall apart? Well, if it is, I guess I'm a pretty bad employee. Not like I'd want to succeed at a job like that. Then I'd be no better than Hope's Peak. Thank you, Amelia. Don't mess this up. I won't this time. Shinku, lock in! Please, Shinku! I wandered around the prison quietly for a moment, surveying room after room, one by one. It was a little nerve-wracking, risking getting caught wandering around this late at night, especially everything with Fu and Allura the other day, but I knew I needed to have this chat with Asuga, no matter what. Eventually, I peeked my head into the lecture hall. Okay, I feel like Asuga is going to be the next one we have the tape with. I found Asuga sitting alone on the stage, legs curled up to their chest. I braced myself and carefully approached. Hey. Yeah, I didn't imagine she'd be up for talking right now. But even so, do you need to be alone, or I can sit with you for a bit? Asuka stayed silent for a moment, avoiding eye contact. I took their silence as refusal, so I sighed and stepped back a bit. I shouldn't force this. That's okay. We can always talk another time. Just take this. Amelia wanted you to have it. Huh? I put the cookie down beside Asuka before taking a few more steps back. I hope you have a nice night, Asuka. I turned to leave, but as I did, I heard their voice quietly behind me. I came in here to practice. Whenever I start feeling stressed or start overthinking things, the only thing that really calms me down is feeling weightless, doing aerials. I did it a lot at the start of the game. I had so much muddling itself up in my brain. There was just so much on the line, so much to think about. So I thought it would be easier to clear my head, make it all seem light and airy, just focus on getting through it. But now every time I do it, I just reopen my wound, and I'm just forced to sit here in the pain. It's really funny, really. Something that used to make me feel so light is now the very thing that reminds me just how crushing and heavy everything here really is. Well, you know, if you need to get some of your weight off your chest, you can always talk about it. It won't be the same as practice, sure, but it could help. I think I'd like that. I tentatively approached Asuka, sitting down with them on the stage, looking out on the empty seats in the lecture hall. In the meetings I'd always felt a bit of tension between Asuga and me, but now that had mellowed, and I was left with the uncomfortable uncertainty of if this conversation would go well or not.
I'm sorry for blowing up at you earlier. I think I'm just starting to reach my limit.
For what it's worth, I'm sorry too. I've probably been pretty frustrating these past few days myself.
Guess the real frustrating part was that I knew in part all of you were right, and I hated that.
No one likes being the one who's in the wrong. Don't beat yourself up over it too much.
How could I not, though? I hate Alora. I think I've got more than enough right to. But I'm not giving her enough grace. I'm isolating and othering her. I'm putting her in a position where she's got no one. I'm just doing the same thing to her that happened to Takiko. And I can't even hate myself for it, because I feel like she deserves it. But I'm sure others felt Takiko deserved it too. I'm a hypocrite. I promise I won't make the same mistakes, yet I keep doing the same thing over and over again. But even more than that, this whole time, I've just been doing the exact thing my mama did. The world failed me completely and entirely, so I wanted to stand up and live anyway. Make somewhere better. A new world. But I ended up just recreating the same things that made the world so unbearable for me. I gave people no choice. I tied them to me whether they wanted it or not. I told them lies and half-truths. And the worst part is, I was raising them to be exactly like me, to make those same mistakes. I really was so blinded by myself that I didn't realize what I was making. I was just telling myself it was better to protect my own ego, to convince myself I was good. Everyone always expected me to be terrible. Friends, teachers, even Nico. So I had to be good to spite them. But I'm just as bad as the rest of you. I'm just blinding myself and putting myself on a pedestal again, thinking I know best, shutting out anything that could prove I don't. Anything that could prove. In the end, I really don't know anything at all.
Now, I wouldn't go that far.
It's true, though. In the end, I'm just being stupid and childish. If I don't think about what I'm doing, I won't have to change it if it's wrong. That's what I thought anyway. But I'm not dumb. I know if someone has more than others. If things aren't fair, people get angry. Issues arise that jealousy and spite and all those other ugly things start to boil up. But I kept putting myself above others anyway. It was so stupid. I don't make any sense, not even to myself. Maybe I just wanted to feel like I had some control of my life, after basically being nothing but a living doll since I was born. But that's no excuse for staying that way, for making my own dolls. I promised myself I wouldn't make the same mistake I did with Takiko, that I wouldn't just ignore issues over and over until it got to a boiling point. Sitting back and letting everything pass me passively, not taking control, is part of what led to her feeling so isolated and hurt in the first place. I knew I had to do more this time, for her sake. No, for everyone's sake. But in trying to do that, I just doubled down, did the things I've always done. I just felt so powerless after Takiko and Taka got ripped away from me so quickly. And everything she said about me, about how I'd been acting, it felt like a slap in the face. But no matter what I did, whatever reality I checked into was still tinted with my fantasy that I was good. I think she'd hate what I was doing now. I guess everyone was right about me. There really must be something wrong with me, huh?
There's something wrong with all of us.
I think there's something
Oh,
wrong with
okay.
everyone, honestly. I don't think there exists anyone really fully pure or good. We all make a lot of mistakes. We all do a lot of harm, whether we mean to or not. If you just expect someone to be good all the time, you'll just end up feeling betrayed when they ultimately end up being human.
I just want it to be different. If I just end up being horrible, like everyone expected me to be, I'd feel even worse. I'd hate to prove those people right. But how am I meant to know what to do when it feels like I was never given a chance at a normal life? I wanted to make things right this time. I don't know how I messed it up this badly. How I let an audience who'd made so many harmful judgments get to my head.
I think the important thing is that at least you tried. You're going to make mistakes over and over again. I know I have. But each time, I think you'll learn a little more. And bit by bit, I think you'll learn to become someone you're more happy with. And I think that counts more than arbitrarily deciding if you're a good or bad person.
Someone I'm happy with, huh? I'm not even really sure what I want at this stage. It feels like I've lost everything. Takiko, Taka, Molly, even my circus. I don't really know what's left for me when I leave here. I'm scared for them as well. I don't want any of them to get hurt. I know that sounds silly, because I put them in this situation in the first place. But I guess I assumed we'd never get caught. Guess I really am an idiot.
No, you're not. You're still just growing.
I just feel like I should have had everything all figured out already.
Well then, I guess you'll just have to keep living to fix that. To find what will make you happy.
I want to. I want to keep moving, but I don't know how I can possibly do that without leaving everyone else behind. They'll never get a chance to grow anymore. It just feels wrong to keep living, to keep moving, when so many others here didn't get that chance. That they'll forever be stuck as just a memory. And I'm stuck here, having become that horrible, rotten grown-up I promised myself I'd never be. Maybe that's why I could never bring myself to hate my mom. In the end, I'm just like she is.
Oh, come on. You don't want to stay as the person who hurts others. You wouldn't let Zeke get away with stagnating, would you? Or me?
No, 'cause I know that you can both do better.
And you can too, just like Taka did.
And just like Molly and Takiko should have gotten the chance to do.
It's easy to just sit here and stagnate. It becomes pretty comfortable after a while, huh? But it's pretty silly to stay exactly where you are and then be surprised that the same thing keeps happening. That you keep feeling the same hurt. That the wound never really heals.
You're pretty silly, Shinku.
Yeah, I guess I am. But even if the others don't get a chance to continue living, to keep growing, that doesn't mean we can't grow. In fact, I think they'd be pretty upset if we had the chance they didn't get and just did nothing with it.
It would have been Taka's birthday today. He would have turned 21. It feels weird to know that soon I'll be his age. That the more time that passes, eventually he'll be stuck being younger than me. Same with Takiko. She's stuck at 18 forever now. I miss Takiko and Taka more than anything in the world. Sometimes I just want to close my eyes and join them. I just want to see them again one last time. I want to apologize for everything. I hate that I got left behind, that I'm stuck here dealing with all these messy, complicated emotions. It's horrible, really, that a part of me hates that they left me behind. I don't want to be alone. I hate that I could never fix things. Sometimes, I think it would really just be easier to just join them. Living gets real tiring after a while. But maybe life isn't too bad. Sometimes it hurts so much to think I'll never see them smile again, but I guess all I can do is keep moving and finding things that make me smile. When I do see them again, I want to be the kind of friend she deserved to have. The kind of person who's able to say those words to Taka that I was never quite brave enough to. So, you're right. Even if they didn't get the chance, at least we have this chance to properly grow up.
Precisely.
I can grow, I can change, I can stop being so self-centered, I can focus on the world around me, I can take on all the wonderful lessons everyone has to teach me. All the things I'll learn from people I haven't even met yet. And see more than just my silly, childish little perfect world I've constructed.
We can all see outside of our own little stories and see the world for what it is.
I can grow. I can become better than all the adults who victimized me as a kid. And instead of making my own little world, separate from it all, aim to make the world at large a better place, even if only by a little bit.
I think that's all we can really do.
Asuga smiled, despite the tears that were welling up in both our eyes, and snapped the cookie Amelia had given them in half, handing me one of the pair.
Then I know what exactly I'll keep living for. I'm going to see the sunshine again. I'll walk in the sunshine, I'll run in the sunshine, I'll make a million mistakes in that sunshine. I'll fall down, I'll hit rock bottom, but it'll be okay. Because I'll look up and I'll know the sun is still there, that I can still feel it on my skin. That despite everything, I'm me. I still exist. And I've been given this chance to live with everything I've got. And I'm going to make the most of it. I'm going to become the person I want to be. For everyone's sake. For everyone who can't.
We will. Both of us.
Yeah, we will.
Happy birthday, Taka.
Happy birthday, Taka.
We tapped the two halves of the cookie together and took a bite. A bittersweet saltiness filled my mouth as the chocolate melted on my tongue. I couldn't tell if it was from my tears or the cookie itself. Either way, it tasted sweet, despite everything. We stayed there for a while, but were interrupted as two people rushed into the room. Ah, so there you are! We've been looking everywhere for you, Jesus! To be fair, we probably should have checked here first. See? Why? What are you doing here? Be careful! I don't want you guys getting caught and getting in trouble! I don't want you having to dwell on shit alone. If we get in trouble, then it's worth it. Looks like someone else beat us to the punch, though. Yeah. Sorry. You guys? Asuga had only just calmed down a bit and stopped crying, but upon seeing Lyra and Ezekiel, they almost immediately burst into tears again. I'm so sorry, you guys. I've been horrible. Whoa, hey. I was telling you off for getting on your high horse about your verdict, but I was just doing the exact same thing. You've been nothing but kind to me since everything happened, and I just walked all over you and tried to tell you how to feel about things. Hey, come on, get yourself some slack. We weren't exactly being the best either. We should have said something earlier, before it got to this point. Yeah, especially with how shitty it can feel to know you've been hurting people unknowingly for far too long. But still, I'm sorry. I really am. But sorries don't mean anything. Words can be pretty, but they can't solve issues alone. I promise you I'm going to be better from now on. We all are. Hey, said it before, but if anyone here can grow, it's you. Yeah, like, come on. You're so young. You've got so much time left to grow. Don't stress out. Don't stress that you're not immediately perfect before your brain is even done developing. Okay, well, it's not like we're much older either. Oh, shut up. You're 23. You got like a year left to get your shit together before that sweet, sweet frontal lobe isn't budging one bit. You better pack it up soon, buddy. Yeah, I'll find myself after the game or some shit. I just don't want to get anyone else hurt when I make my stupid mistakes. Well, all you can do if you do is try to make it up to them in the future by doing better. Hurt us all you like, as long as you listen to us when we tell you when you're being stupid. Only if you let me do the same. Seems like we got ourselves a deal, huh? Whatever, yeah, sure. Just stop opening up your wound, alright? You guys... Asuga hopped off the stage and ran over to Ezekiel and Lyra, grabbing them both and hugging them. There was a bit of resistance from Ezekiel, but he eventually joined in, and the three of them just held each other. I felt a little bittersweet watching them, but I was glad they had one another. I noticed during it, Lyra looking over at me, a small smile on her face. A strange look in her eyes, as if she was trying to reassure me, too. I knew what she meant. If they could work through their issues, I could too. And there was something I needed to properly apologize. Someone I needed to properly apologize to. A wound I needed to patch up. He's not going to be able to do it. He's not going to be able to patch it up before the body gets discovered. I just hope I could be brave enough to find the words. Apprehensive save. Because I think we're getting to... Okay. The Curious Case of Asuga Saintil. Please make your case for the jury.
I've always tried to play the hero, ever since I was young.
It's either Lyra or Fu. And I really like both of them.
I liked seeing those who were in bad situations and saving them, giving them something better. I always wanted to be saved as a child, so it only made sense to me that others would want to be saved. I liked being people's savior. I liked being good. I liked thinking I was doing what was best. It was like a game I could always win. A game of simple good versus evil. It was nice to feel smart for once. Like I figured things out. Like I knew about how the world really worked. That I could make a change to it. Because I somehow saw things others didn't.
How brave.
I thought I was doing the right thing. But what gave me that strength, that power, was having the strength to leave my situation on my own in the first place. By skipping that step, by forcing them out of that situation before they had the strength to themselves, I was just putting them in another cage. They wouldn't have the strength to survive on their own after all.
You liked it, didn't you?
It was nice to be needed, to be strong, to have control. I hated how unfair the world was, how helpless it made me feel. I couldn't live in a world like that. So, I thought I'd make my own. I thought I could make something good. I thought only I could do that.
Hypocrites.
In the end, I was just deluding myself that my idea of fairness was the right one. That I was doing it all for selfless reasons. And I dragged everyone else into that delusion too. It was nice to make a paradise entirely of my design. If the bars were golden enough, then no one would see a problem with it.
We're gonna have one of these where the interviewee isn't crashing out.
And even if they did, I thought our little cage was better than the outside world. That everyone else was trapped on the other side of the bars, and we were really the only ones who were free. I felt I knew what was best for everyone. That my ideas of the world were correct. That only I could make them happy.
Just like Alora.
Don't compare me to her. We're nothing alike.
Backsliding. Also, no, she's gonna crash out. They're gonna crash out.
I might be the biggest, most childish hypocrite in this prison, but...
Has anybody used the she this entire chapter for them? Because I know they have before in the other chapters.
But I'd never go that far. Never in my life. I couldn't do that. I couldn't have someone's death on my hands.
You prefer their lives.
I just wanted to give them somewhere better. Or maybe I just wanted to save my own ego, make myself feel like I was good. I don't know. I wanted a family I felt safe in so desperately. I wanted to keep them together no matter what. Their lives would fall apart without me.
That's hardly fair.
I was so worried about things being unfair, people not being on the same level, about infighting if someone had more than someone else. But in the end, I was the one hoarding everything, reaching out for power, kicking anyone else down the ladder. I couldn't face it. I'd become the very thing I despised, so I just tried to ignore it. Push Taka away for what he'd done. It was completely different. See what I was doing as love, and what he was doing as abuse. Lie to myself that I was needed, that only I could do it. But her eyes. Takiko's eyes in the end. I could barely recognize her. I'd been so blinded by my own ego, by just wanting things to be easy, by not wanting to think, by just wanting to stay as uncomplicated and good that I never really met her. I never really knew her. And maybe by the time I even tried, I was just doing it to rectify my own stupid mistakes more than for her sake. It's like it's always been for me, putting on simple band-aid solutions to problems to not have to think about them too hard, to not have to think about my own actions. To just feel like everything's okay, everyone likes me, that I'm still a good person. But now I can never fix things, and I can't stand that.
Brave, stupid Asuga.
shake my hand. Was she just scared to accuse me? I wanted her to grab it and run out of there with me.
That wouldn't have worked.
Of course not. I'd have gotten ripped apart by that mob too. I knew that, but still, blindly, I wanted to help her. But she'd have known what would have happened. Of course she knew. So why? Why did she spare me after all of the wrong I'd done to her?
You knew you could kill them.
Why did she have that much belief in me after everything I'd done? Why does anyone believe in me? Are they really that deluded by my own self-centeredness? By my own unwillingness to address what I'm really like? Or do they really just not care about me in the end?
You need to kill them.
I know I do.
Is she the culprit? Are they the culprit? Your wound won't heal until you do.
It's just hard. I'm tired. I'm scared that I'll continue the same cycle, that I'll keep hurting people, that I'll do the exact same thing as before.
I'm so scared. What's his name? What's that guy's name? Yeah, Abdul Ali. Yeah, that one gif of Ali from Squid Game with the words "I am so fucking scared." That's me right now.
I, of all people, shouldn't have the right to live after what I did to everyone at my circus, to everyone I claimed to love. I just want to lay down and close my eyes. I just want to sleep and go somewhere simpler. I want to blind myself and go back to the familiar. But I can't do that. They'd hate me if I did that. So I have to keep on moving. I have to live with all my might for their sake. I have to become someone they'd be proud of, even if it's hard. Someone who can really help all those kids at the circus. Who can let them find that strength on their own terms, not just assume I know best for them. And let go of them, even if it means they'll fall in the process.
You will fall too.
I hope they can forgive me. Despite everything, it seems I couldn't become anyone's savior in the end.
Oh, little moth. It appears you may fly, despite everything. What? 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 No, because they were twins. They're relatively close in age. Anyways, I guess I'll see you all next time. I guess. Goddamn. I am so scared. I am so scared. Bye bye.